I am pretty. And without giving you the full statement, you would rightfully believe I'm delusional. Of course, it's false. But if I were to qualify that statement, if I were to finish the statement and put it in context, I could say, I am pretty unhappy with how much my neighbor's dog barks. Now we have it in context, now it makes sense. The sky. On its own, I like this area. I like that it feeds up into the foreground. It goes up higher in the sky a little bit. You know, it can be interesting. It's on its way to being something interesting. But it's also, this inverted semicircle tends to punch down on the composition. I want this sky to be freeing. If I leave this here, it changes the entire composition considerably. Let me back up and show you what I mean. Sure, it's possible to keep that inverted semicircle there and make it work. But I almost feel like I would be forcing it to work. And in a way, I think rather than forcing it to work, I would prefer to let the painting kind of do its own thing, what seems a little more natural. So when I zeroed in on this, you saw this. You might have liked it, you might not. I did. But now that we've backed the camera off, when we've zoomed out, now we see this in context with everything else. What I would like, my vision for the painting, is that, yeah, of course, the first thing you see is this. This is what pops, right? But as you spend some time with the painting, I think you'll tend to want to step off of this area, hop over onto the path, walk up that path towards this doorway, stand in front, have a look at the cabin and the shed and maybe the contents in there, and then your eye will leave the painting. And the less that sky is imposing, the more you will feel free above. The less that sky is imposing, well, the less that sky is imposing. It's less content. I don't want a lot of content up here. If this were a distant prairie scene and this shed weren't here and it was just a horizon with a few buildings on it, it would become very much about the sky. I don't want it to be too much about the sky. So what I'm planning on doing is removing this, and we'll have various darker forms in the foreground. You know, I still like this slice of light back here. It's going to be modified, but I think I'm going to bring this blue maybe directly across the canvas. Let's just play for a moment. Okay, I've mixed a little bit of, what is that, cobalt blue, raw umber, bit of titanium white. I don't think I want that leaving the canvas. And it's funny because it's not leaving the canvas in a free way, you know, in a sense of freedom, stretching the eyeballs way. It's leaving the canvas as a strong line. I don't think I want a strong line there. I think I'm going to keep this a little more blurry. I don't mind if some of these colors fade off, but they're very gentle, they're very easygoing. I'm mixing again a little bit of linseed oil into my paint as I do this. That's too light. too high a value. It's just really, really kind of taking the strength off the top of that. That's still not enough. More white. More white, please. More blue, please. Cobalt blue, that is. No, I'm not finishing the sky right now. I kind of just wanted to illustrate that notion of weight punching down. On some paintings it's fine. This composition, no. I want it to do this, and then that. And it's going to take some time before I've arrived at the place that I want to. So my vision for the sky certainly has changed since I began the painting. I'm good with that. I have no problem with that at all. I think we're still, yes, the sky is getting changed quite a bit, but we're still pretty much keeping the spirit of things alive here. In my very fallible opinion. Yeah, there will be some humidity in the sky in the distance, but it'll be ambient humidity. It won't necessarily form strong clouds. I did like these lines, and these lines pointing to here. I'm getting the feeling I may do maybe a bit of that, but mostly we're going to be clouds scudding off to the left. That's my sense. Or lack of sense. And that is entirely up to your opinion. Stand back here a moment and have a peek at that. Yeah. I like the idea of all this strength below and more ethereal look above. Even though there are several planes involved, visual planes that is, it's, psychologically a person knows where land meets sky. Everything below this line is land. Hard, durable, substantial stuff. Stays the same for a long time. Everything above that line is ethereal, changing moment to moment. So there's a very big, psychologically, a very big difference when you look at a painting like this. Strong outlined, even cartoonish. This is, yeah, you can still keep it cartoonish, but it has to be much weaker and more ethereal. And that's really, you know, I struggled with the idea for a while. Initially I had a very strong column going up there. Now, bad placement, too central. You know, I thought I'd hang on to it for a little bit, but now I'm just going to go blue, but varying blue, you know, blues to grays, varying degrees of ultramarine blue, varying degrees of cobalt blue, hints of ultramarine, no, I said ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, hints of alizarin crimson, raw umber, and titanium white. Of course, titanium white. You can't operate very well without that stuff. Not on something like this. Anyway, this is all getting a lot of change yet, but I just wanted to show, you know, this is going, and I just want to soften everything here. I have organized things a little bit in places. You can probably see that from the last video, but and they need more organizing, but I would like them to be gentle, but still in tune with the rest of the composition. Okay, I think I'm done bothering you for the moment. Hope your weekend's going well. See you soon.